afternoon, everybody, again. My name is Cecile and I'm going to start this story with a discussion I had with Rick here. That was back in June, and that was early in Rick's morning on the West Coast in Seattle. And he wrote to me, I spread information by email, you know, because I did it by posting on LinkedIn and on our member space, but it didn't roast much response. So with email, I got response. I got to thinking, I'm reading Rick email, I got to thinking that for most people, me included, email is still the primary communication tool. It might be generational. And then he continued and then asked, what has to stop? To add something new, something has to go. Then I answered, well, this is all about it. You got the point, but I'm not okay with you. Nothing has to stop. There's a total system change. It's a system in the in the ecosystem of the person. And the mathematic -1 + 1 doesn't work in such a case. It's different mathematics. And I defend the position that this is much more complex than that. So after this email exchange, and because I was a spread candidate, I want to think maybe it would be interesting to do a presentation about mathematics of change. And this is what I will talk to you about. So I started to gather what I knew about the mathematics of change. And first of all, you start in 1990 with Mr. Kotter, that many of you know. And Mr. Kotter has a very linear process, starting with establishing a sense of emergency. You remember that? Maybe the burning platform, okay? Burning platform, going to see the customer, saying, Mr. Customer, it's burning, your house is burning, you need to do something, hire me, change management consultant, and I will help you. And then you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're done. And it's the way it works. And John Kotter was very famous, but to this type of question and discussion we had with Rick, I think it does not at all apply. So this is arithmetics, and I really think that arithmetics doesn't work here. Although there's interesting things here, okay? So I want to find something else about the mathematics of change that I knew. So I keep thinking it's not the end of the Kotter story. I keep thinking, and I said, I went to the internet, and I found this. And it's really, people think that change management is linear, but in real life, it's not at all linear. This is what real life is. It's messy, it's drafty, and it's even worse than that. Because depending on the culture you live in, it can be with wave, it can be all around the points, or it can be triangular, it can be many, many ways. So we need really to find something else than arithmetics, okay? So what else do we know about the mathematics of change? So the next thing I find, or I remember from our courses, it was about algebra. Do you remember this one? So this one says, for the change to happen, something has to be more important than resistance. And what has to be more important is dissatisfaction with the present situation, multiplied by vision, multiplied by first steps. And if this is more important, then the change will happen. And here, there's a point too, because people are not yet dissatisfied with email, not yet. We have a vision, we have the first step, we have the member space, and so on. But there's still resistance, and it's still quite important. So this algebra formula apply quite well. But to me, it was still quite too simple. So I went back to researching a bit, and then I find we're in Gaussian curves here. I find this is Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she described the 5 stages of grief. And it really applies to how resistance goes down, okay? It's about denial, then anger, then plot of confusion, peak of confusion, acceptance, and then you move forward, you're done, and the change happens. And here, at this stage, exact stage, I was discussing with the people doing the help me please, doing the idea hack. And I had a whole range of email exchange with Martin here and other people. And Martin came back saying, Cecile, I don't understand this maelstrom of emails. Please help me. So I thought, okay, he's calm and so on, so he's not in this Gaussian curve. I need to find something else to describe the state of Martin. So I went to another Gaussian curve, not down, but up. And this is Diffusion of Innovation by Mr. Roger in 1962 that was updated by Mr. Moore in 1991. And basically what does it say? That each of us are from a different type. There's people like innovators, geeks. Okay. There's early adopters, well, we're kind of the same, and there's early majority, late majority laggards. I wouldn't like to call you a laggard, but obviously, okay. So this is becoming better. So I'm getting more mathematics here. Everything applies, but I'm getting more. And this is also interesting. I'm not showing somebody very famous, Malcolm Gladwell, with a tipping point, but basically the tipping point happens somewhere where you see the chasm. If the change goes over the chasm, it's the same thing that if the change goes over the tipping point. It then happens, okay? Another way to, another mathematics. So I was still with my question and I was thinking, well, are we done yet? Do I have everything I need to describe this kind of change? And is it helping to explain to Rick what is happening? No, I don't think we're done yet. This is far not enough complex compared to what is happening today. So we need to find another kind of mathematics. So we need basically to have a different perspective, okay? So what's left? What can I find? Complex mathematics, biology, ecosystems. I talked to you before about, I said we need to change the ecosystem of the person. There's a whole range of mathematics about ecosystem, which is very, very interesting. It's how do ecosystems survive? How do they change internally? And okay, without going into the details, this is systemic, so this is quite interesting. But this is about impulse. This is about loss of balance, compensation, and back to equilibrium. But this is about stable, making it stable. So I'm quite not happy with that because we're not in a stable world. We're not in a finished world. So we need something more complex. So I ended with the mathematics of the chaos. And basically, really, this is the mathematics I think apply to all kind of change we're dealing with today. not only changing from email to social networks, but it applies to merger and acquisition. It applies to process change and many things like that. Why? Mathematics of change, basically, what does it say? It says that things are uncertain. It says that we cannot plan ahead. It's used, for example, for meteorology. And it says that we can plan the weather 10 days ahead, but no more. And whatever we will discover in mathematics will get us closer to the 10 days, but not over the 10 days, never. It says that if a butterfly flaps in one point of the world, maybe a tornado will happen in another point of the world. So it's really like impulse, but we don't know the result. It's really like emergence, volatility, wave, instability. And why do I defend the fact that this is the kind of mathematics we should deal with for change? Because the technology has changed everything. It has made everything faster. Mick talked about big data. Big data is about weak trends. And change now is also about weak trends. Change is about viral propagation, it's about serendipity, it's about entropy, it's about collaboration, greed. And even though you're dealing with a standard type of change, you'll have to take into account this different way to do things. Okay? So what do we have to do as change practitioners? What do we have to be ready with? Because this is basically saying we cannot plan ahead. What I defend is the fact that we are in permanent beta all the time when we're dealing with change. A change is starting, but it's never ending. You're planning the end of your project, but this will never happen because before that, a new project will start and again and again and again. So we have to be ready for permanent beta, and we have to deal with it. We have to dance. Thank you.